Hi guys, before we start today's video, I just wanted to apologize for the buzzing sound that's coming from the microphone, as well as the laptop's fan that is picked up during the skit that I did in the start. I'm still working on it. I still don't know how to fix it, but I'll figure something out. Sorry in advance, and I hope that you guys enjoy today's video. Thank you for the support.
So, hi. Um, what you reading there? One Piece. Hmm. Is it any good? It's decent. It's quite good. It's kind of good. Not bad. Is it the story with the uh Luffy kid, the guy who eats the fruit, grows stretchy with the punch? You know? Hmm. That's what it's about, huh? It's it's a bit more complex, but more or less. So it's like a fucking story about a pirate. You're really reading a fucking story about a pirate kid that eats a fruit and stretches. I mean, can he even stretch his, like, you know, his, you know? Yeah, he can. Yeah, it's a scene where they try to pull a mushroom and they think his ding dong is a mushroom that stretches. Yeah, cool, cool. Yeah. Um, it sounds boring, you know? It sounds shit. Mm, it's not. It's not shit. But I guess that's why I'm here to explain why One Piece is fucking incredible.
Holy calamity, scream insanity! All you ever gonna be's another great fan of me. Break!
Hi, how is it going, people of the internet? My name is D Shan, or DD Shan, whatever the fuck you want to call me, and this is my face debut of the face. Essentially, I'm sorry for that semi-pornographic intro. You know, what are you doing, step bro? But as you figured from the intro and probably from the title of this video, today we're going to be, well, I'm not going to be really reviewing One Piece, but I will be talking about One Piece. What I will be talking about One Piece in One Piece is, let me just give you a little bit of context, okay? So I recently caught up to One Piece about a month ago, just when chapter 997 came out, okay? And we fully caught up to One Piece then. I read like 30 chapters a night to catch up to it, and I decided that I want more of the story because I fucking love the story. Essentially, I started reading it again, and I found One Piece physical because I recently started my reread of One Piece because it's just fucking worth it. I want to talk about something pretty specific, and that is the first chapter of One Piece, the very first one, chapter 1, because while reading it, I got a couple of ideas in my brain. After experiencing the entire story and re-experiencing the first chapter again, and also during research that I'm doing for another One Piece video, I personally discovered that chapter 1 of One Piece is fucking excellent. It is perfect from start to finish, and it perfectly encapsulates, I guess, so many things about One Piece, and it is an excellent start to any series or any piece of fiction. It's the best start that I've ever seen, essentially. Now, before I get into the chapter again, I just want to talk a little bit about something that I noticed while watching or reading other shonen animes or manga, like Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, Black Clover, and Haikyuu, etc., etc., etc. Now, basically, what I mean about these is that when all of these stories started, they kind of establish the same thing. What it establishes is A, your main character, B, the power source of this world. The third thing that it establishes is its goal. You know, what do they want? Naruto wants to become the Hokage. Asta wants to become the Wizard King. It establishes the goal that the main character wants to achieve using this power that is in the world. Using these three basic points, I went into chapter 1 of One Piece to see if this shonen anime slash manga contained these 3 points, I guess. And I guess it did contain it and even more. It opened my eyes to a lot of other things. So I've been rambling on for a long time. So let's just get into One Piece because that's probably why you're here, right? Page ASMR. When you look at the table of content, the first, 3 chapters in the story are long. They're big chapters that establish a lot of things. Like, it establishes Luffy and Zoro, Luffy and his right-hand man, right? And they're long chapters. They're like 30-something to 50 pages, something like that. And then after that, you see that the chapters are usually around about 20 pages, maybe 25 pages, you know what I mean? One Piece starts off by telling us the history of the world, essentially. It introduces us here to Gold D. Roger. He'd achieved it all. He became the Pirate King. He was currently being executed, but before he got executed, he told everybody, I'm the Pirate King, you want my treasure, go and find it into the sea. And he started a new age of piracy. Now, this is legitimately the first page of chapter 1. And Oda, with the first page of chapter 1, he establishes a purpose for this world. It's a pirate story, so it establishes that if you are a pirate, you're after one thing, and that is Gold Roger's treasure. But after Oda establishes every pirate's goal and dream, he then introduces us to our main character in the form of Monkey D. Luffy as a 7-year-old child. And the first thing Luffy does is he just stabs himself in the eye. Well, no, it's like underneath the eye, but he stabs himself to prove that he's tough, because he wants to be a pirate and he wants to join the crew of none other than Red Hair Shanks, okay? After we get introduced to Luffy, we then get introduced to Luffy's inspiration, the pirate that he looks up to, because we meet Luffy here not at the start of his journey. We meet him as a child, before his journey even started, before he even had the idea of wanting to be the Pirate King and finding the One Piece and all of that bullshit. He just wanted to be a pirate because that's who he is. And he meets Shanks, but he gets rejected by Shanks. Shanks isn't rejecting him because he's taking the piss out of Luffy. He's not telling Luffy that you're a little kid, so I'm not going to make you a pirate. That I'm not going to take you with me because it's a dangerous world and you're just not ready for it. Shanks' first mate makes that more clear as the voice of reason compared to Shanks. And the story continues like that until this guy, this little bitch, the Mountain Bandit, and the Mountain Bandit's incident where he walks into the bar essentially and he asks that I want some sake, but the pirates or Shanks' crew have already finished all of the alcohol and all of the sake. But Shanks, being the good guy that he is, he offers him a bottle, but he's like, what, sir, I am a mountain bandit. I ask for alcohol, you give me alcohol, not a bottle. So, smacks it all over Shanks' face, and then bangs up a lot more, and he's like, yo, Shanks, you're a little bitch, of a pirate, clean up this shit, peace, right? But Shanks and his crew laugh it off. Now, why am I talking about this moment? Because I did not go into the second point, which is the power system in this world. I'm still talking about the introduction of a character. All this, Oda is still introducing us to Luffy. And he's not just introducing us to Luffy by saying that Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, is a 7-year-old child that wants to be a pirate. No, he's saying that Monkey D. Luffy is a 7-year-old child that wants to be a pirate, that knew a pirate when he was young, that's called Red Hair Shanks. And Red Hair Shanks did so-and-so, and Luffy saw Shanks. He essentially got embarrassed and humiliated, but he laughed it off because he was not hurt. He himself was not hurt. We go into the future where Shanks, he's a pirate. He goes on voyages. The mountain bandits come back to the, to the bar. They tell her, give us some alcohol. She gives them some alcohol. The bartender, of course, is her. And they start taking the piss out of Shanks, right? They start saying this guy, he's dumb, he's stupid, he likes cleaning. All of the pirates are little bitches. There are bitches. We are mountain bandits. We're the best bandits in the world. But Luffy isn't having that. Luffy stands up for Shanks because, it's Shanks. So while these mountain bandits are beating up Luffy, what happens is Shanks comes back from his voyage and he's like, yo, mountain bandit, you fucked up. You fucked up, bitch. And the mountain bandit's like, what? Huh? And he's like, look, me, as Shanks, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Beat me up, throw food on me, spit me, suck my ass. I don't care. But oi, you touch my friend, and I will beat the living hell out of you and your mom and your dad and your crippled grandma. All 4 of you. Okay? And now, of course, an injured Luffy that's on the floor, he's like, Shanks, what? And this point of Shanks, he doesn't care what happens to him, but if you hurt one of his friends, he's coming after you. This point essentially becomes one of the main driving factors for Luffy throughout his entire story. If you think about it, most of Luffy's adventures are, him discovering somewhere new. He finds a friend, and the friend gets hurt, so Luffy goes and beats the fuck out of the person that hurt said friend. Okay, now if you look at it from the outside, it's very basic, it's very simple, but that's the genius of it, is that when you then start to dig into this idea, you discover that it is not that simple at all. It's layered, and it was all established in the first chapter of One Piece with Shanks and his interaction with Luffy. And it even goes so far as Shanks sacrificing his left arm to save Luffy and telling him that it's just a small price to pay as long as you're safe. Further establishing Luffy's character and Luffy's personality is like, I don't care what happens to me as long as my friends are okay. You know what I mean? And that's genius. And here Luffy's character has been established. Okay, now we go on to the next, the power system. How does the power system work? What is the power of One Piece? You're reading a shonen anime manga. So what is the power system? I'll tell you. In a very small panel, in a very, very, very small panel that not a lot of people probably gave attention, you realize in a very small panel here, when you guys remember this guy, when this guy was introduced, on the opposite page while he was talking to Shanks, as you can see here, Luffy is eating his devil fruit. Like that. It's a very, very small panel. And Luffy there, he eats his devil fruit. And thus, we, as the reader or the watcher, get introduced to the concept of devil fruits and what they are and what they do to the body. They give you an ability, and you sacrifice your ability to swim. It is not the main source of power in the story, but we get introduced to Luffy's, main power, let's just say that. And to a lesser extent, we do get something more about the power, but it's not mentioned anytime soon. But it's when Shanks saves Luffy, essentially, we get introduced to another type of power called Haki. That's not even mentioned anytime now, but still, it was introduced in the first chapter. The two mainest, let's just say, forms of power in the world of One Piece, Haki and the Devil Fruits, get introduced in the first chapter. Now, the goal of the world, Luffy and his character, the power system. These 3 things have already been introduced in the first chapter of One Piece. The last thing that's left to get introduced to is Luffy's goals and ambitions and what he wants to achieve on his adventure in this world. And we get this in one of the last panels that Shanks is in, where Shanks, he's leaving, he's going on his last voyage, he's going, and Luffy essentially tells him that I'm not gonna ask you to take me on your crew anyway. I'm gonna become a pirate myself. I'm gonna find my own crew, and I'm gonna beat you someday. I'm gonna find a crew as strong as yours, right? And Shanks is like, oh, you're gonna do that, huh? So take my straw hat, and we get Luffy's straw hat, and we get Luffy's ambition, where he's like, I'm gonna be the pirate king. That's Luffy's goal. That's Luffy's ambition. Two things: to have a crew that's just as great as Shanks's, because he sees Shanks's crew as the greatest crew in the world. And number two is to become the pirate king. But before Luffy says that I would be the pirate king, he says that I want a crew that is as strong as yours. That's what matters to him, right? And then we get flash forward 10 years later. Luffy's a big boy now, he's big and strong, he's like, and he's about to start his adventure. His adventure's starting. The same, monster that terrorized him as a child gets knocked out in one punch, and Luffy's like, okay, time to start my adventure. I'm gonna find a crew of 10 members, and it's time to be the pirate king, yo. And with that, Eiichiro Oda ends the first chapter of One Piece. The first chapter of One Piece ends with Luffy just talking about his ambition. He says what he wants to achieve in this world. I want a crew, 10 members, and I want to be the pirate king. And that's what Luffy starts his adventure believing in, and still believes it. Now, you might think that, Didi, it's like a decent chapter. I know. It's an excellent chapter. You have to read it for yourself to really understand what But why am I talking about? Why did I mention in the start the other shonen series and compare it to this as a start? Because I think that the rest of these series do not start as strong as this. In one chapter, Eiichiro Oda, the mastermind behind One Piece, he managed to establish the world. We're in the golden age of piracy. Everybody wants to be a pirate to find the Pirate King's treasure. That's one. Number two, he introduced us to the main character, Monkey D. Luffy. And when I mean introduced, he introduced us to the main character of Monkey D. Luffy and who he is and will become. He also introduced us to Luffy's main inspiration as a pirate, Shanks. Number three, he introduced us to the two main power systems of the world, Devil Fruits and the Haki. Number four, he introduced us to the goals and ambition for what Monkey D. Luffy wants to achieve by the end of his adventure, which is to be the Pirate King and to have 10 good members in his crew. And all of that happens in the span of one chapter, which is, it's nothing short of incredible whenever I think about it. Now, if you look at other things like Naruto or Bleach, I'm going to talk about Bleach because I've just read it recently, and it starts off, we get introduced to Ichigo and his power, being that he can see like ghosts or spirits. He has a high spiritual power and blah, 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 blah. And then his family gets attacked because of him. And through this, he becomes a Shinigami and vows that he wants to protect his family. We get introduced to Ichigo, the main character, his goal and ambition, the world, power system, and it's good, but it's shallow. It falls because it's just like I told Shinigami, world, protect, family, my name is Ichigo. That's it. Only thing we know of Ichigo is his name. We don't know anything about his personality yet. Not much about his personality. And look at this through other shonen series and you'll realize that they all kind of follow the same thing. Now, just because that they follow the same thing does not mean that it is necessarily bad. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good, but is it excellent? I have to get back to you on that one. But what I can tell you 100% certainty is that the way that One Piece starts its story is excellent. Chapter 1 of One Piece is excellent, and it is a fantastic way to start One Piece. And I really urge you to read or watch One Piece, because it's fucking excellent, bro. You should fucking do it, Yeah, you should do it. It's good. Shit's good.
His
Now that we have finished talking about chapter 1 of One Piece, the first chapter, I personally want to talk about what I want to do when it comes to One Piece. And one thing that I'm thinking of doing, I have a lot of ideas that I want to do with One Piece. And the big video that I talked about that while researching, I got this idea for chapter 1 of One Piece is I'm gonna do a video that talks about the parallels inside of One Piece. And there's a lot of parallels. And one of those parallels, spoiler alert, has something to do with chapter 1. If you've caught up on the story, you probably know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll have to watch and see. But I want to do something about the parallels of One Piece, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I talked a lot. You probably don't get anything, but that's okay. Yeah, bye. Dab 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 boobity boobity boobity.